Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be exploring some cute little felt tip pens that I got at the Dollarama. Now guys, I went to the Dollarama and got all kinds of goodies, and these are the pens I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Now for my American friends, Dollarama is our version of Dollar Tree up here in Canada, but we do have Dollar Trees. So it says on the packaging, super bright, safe and non-toxic, and believe it or not, more and more art supplies do not have the safe, non-toxic mark lately, so I'm not impressed about that. It says no bleeding, but I suspect because they're felt tip and they're water-based they will, but we will find out together. Other than that, the packaging is really cute. They claim that it's all safe, they dry quickly, and I don't have any reason to suspect these will be terrible, so let's unpackage these and see what they're like. So right off the bat, I'm going to let you guys know, I thought the barrels were really cute. The colors are fun and bright. These are medium tip pens. This is what the tip looks like, and honestly they say pens but they look and feel like markers. So this is just an initial swatch that I'm doing here, and right now I can tell you guys I do like how bright and fun the colors are. Of course I want to draw more with them and test them out more. I started doing some hand lettering. I hated it, so I just ended up leaving my initial swatch page over here on the left, and then I colored on some other thicker paper, a very quick sketch. I didn't even use all the colors, but as you guys can see, I was doing some hand lettering and it was bleeding through, or should I say ghosting through. So this is just an initial quick sketch. I didn't use all the colors, I used some of them, and it's like a typical water-based marker. You have to make sure you don't wet the paper too much or the paper gets flooded or there's pooling. But if you're doing some quick, simple sketches without too many layers, these are perfectly fine, just like any other run-of-the-mill water-based marker. I ended up also using these markers simply to outline something else I had drawn. Now you guys might not see, but I have the green that I outlined between the peach and the teal, and I used little purple dots on the purple. I did some little pink lines on the pink. I outlined the blue stem here with the blue. And I ended up just doing that. It's very, very subtle. I just wanted to see, do they work on top of acrylic paint markers? And they in fact do. So you can't really see it here, but I even outlined the blue leaf with the blue. I used some purples, etc., etc. So it's very subtle. You can't really see it, but do they work for outlining on top of markers? Yes, they do. And that's the whole point of these videos, is for me to explore. So you don't have to, and you have to see, hey, are these markers worth buying anyways? So I'm going to take some inspiration off of the package because I like all the foliage and the flowers that they put on. It's very botanical vibes, totally my vibe. So I'm going to just do some very loose flowers here in my sketchbook. So you guys can see there is some bleeding and pooling from the previous page. And I'm just going to do my best to utilize all the colors here to do some flowers and some foliage. And right now, I just have to tell you guys, they're very standard, nothing special, but the colors are very pretty and bright. I really like how pigmented they are. So this is my full page where I used all of the little felt pens. I made sure to utilize them next to each flower. I show with little swatch hearts which one I used, and then I wanted to use the black just for the title, obviously, because it would have killed my vibe if I did it with the flowers. So if you guys want to make a gift to a child, a teenager, or you just want some really cheap markers to travel with, I recommend them. Obviously, because I have thick paper here, it didn't bleed through, but there is definitely some ghosting, and if you color too much and layer too much, it will definitely bleed through. So the paper that you use is very important. And these are just very basic markers. But I have a theory. So what I ended up doing is I used my theory over here to write out what I thought. So I said, this is me testing out my note theory. I suspect it will pool, and I also suspect it'll bleed through because they said no bleeding. So if you're taking notes, you want to make sure your paper doesn't bleed through. So I like these. I really do. But in all honesty, they will bleed through. And I find them fine, but they're very mid. So even though they claim there's no bleeding, if you guys wanted this for possible note taking or journaling, I definitely don't recommend, because you won't be able to use your paper double-sided, and most papers are very thin and standard papers. So if you guys were curious about buying these, I don't recommend them, but if you're going to buy them, get them for mixed media. And I find the best way to not get pooling or bleeding is to do really fast sketching. So as you guys can see here, obviously I have fast forwarded what I am doing here, but if I do a very loose gestural sketch where I'm not coloring and the tip doesn't get to sit in one spot for too long, that's the best way to utilize these for very quick gestural. That way there's barely any bleeding or pooling, and you get to see the benefit of the markers. So I can't say I don't recommend them, but they're just very, very, very mid. They're perfect enough for kids. I'm sure they'll dry out before you know it. But as for colors, the colors are really pretty. They're fun, they're bright, but not all dollar store finds are necessarily the best finds. So that's why I'm trying them out, so you don't necessarily have to. Would I buy them again? Probably not, but now that I have them, will I use them? Yes. And if not, someone in my family definitely will. So you guys see, quick gestural is the way to go if we don't want any pooling. My sketch is very fast, very cute, nothing special, and I enjoyed using them. They're fine, but I would recommend you guys maybe save up your money and buy a little more high-end, like maybe, I don't know, a Tombow marker or something else. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way, but for like, I think they were like $4 Canadian. It's not so terrible. Well, you can't win them all, so I'm happy I tried them. It scratched my curiosity itch, and I can't say I'm completely devastated. I will find some way to use them. Maybe I'll make another video and I'll try to water them down like as a watercolor and see how they fare then. But I have so many other things going on. We'll see if I even remember. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you consider checking out some of my other videos here. Bye guys.